Alright, what's up? The movie came out 2 weeks ago. I reviewed the movie, or reviewed the book, but we need to talk about what the fuck happened to Lucy Gray. Where did she go? So I've been running through this book, right? And I've come to two different possible conclusions as to where she went. I think I want to preface by saying it doesn't matter what happened to her. Let's just start with that, all right? At the end of the day, that's not the point of the book. The point of the book is that her legacy is what is left in her imprint on Snow. Is that she made his experience with her made him a harder, colder person. It made him be like, it was her was like the last straw that made him snap. Right? The first straw was his parents being dead. The second straw, well, especially his mother. The first straw was his mother being dead. The second straw was his family going broke. The third straw was his experiences with her and everything concerning her. Those are the three straws that broke the camel's back and made Coriolanus Snow go to say, fuck this shit. I'm killing everybody. Alright, that's the point of the story. It isn't about whether she survives or not. It doesn't. Her surviving or not doesn't make anything happy. It doesn't make anything sadder or happier, or because even if she survived, what does it matter? The fact that she doesn't pop up in the originals means that her presence doesn't matter anymore. Her purpose and her presence was fulfilled up to that end, up to the ending we got in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Her being, beyond that isn't important anymore unless we get some type of confirmation that she's in the originals as a different character or something. That she changed her name. She'd be 82 years old. Yes, she would be 82 years old. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just running with that. She'd be 82 or 80. Or would it be 80? Yeah, so it'd be 64 years later. So she'd be 80 years old. If there's any other character, some people think that she's this character who lives in there's this old lady in District 12 whose name I forgot. The one who, I think she runs the Hob now. So I guess that connection would kind of make sense. But even if it is, unless What's Her Face comes out and outright confirms that's her, then it just doesn't fucking matter if she survives or not. As long as we don't have any confirmation that she's in the originals or that her grandchildren are in the originals, then it just doesn't fucking matter whether she survived or not. You can make it add meaning to say she did and go there, but it just doesn't, because that's not the point of the story and that's not the point of her character. Her character's purpose to Snow, to this story. This is Snow's story. This is not Lucy's story. This is Snow's origin story. And she serves her purpose to that, becoming her imprint on him and what the experience does to him. And her legacy that she is in the originals through her songs. Her songs are what make Survive to the originals, and it's only such a shame that we never get any scenes. Oh, unless she writes these, unless she writes like a novella of scenes where Snow hears Katniss singing the songs, the Covey songs, for the first time, singing, Deep in the Meadow, at the Hanging Tree, obviously. Unless we get some scenes written where, we see him hear those songs again for the first time, and he's like, what the fuck? That's her legacy, not her surviving as a character and being out in plain sight under a different name in the originals, or her grandchildren being either, or her children being either, Katniss or Rue or what's her face, Coin. Some people think she is Coin, and I'm like, nah, no, she's not Coin. I think her characterization, I think people paint her to be stronger than she really was. She she was really a scared fucking orphan, doing whatever she needed to survive. And everything you see her do, was an act. It's all an act. It's all a performance. The moment you see her, the first time you meet her, what does she do? She gets, what's that? She gets reaped. Gets a name called in the reaping. She throws the snake on Mayfair. Then she sings a song after she gets punched. She sings a song. Who the fuck does that in Hunger Games? We ain't never seen no shit like that. But that's her character. She performs because that's her mode of survival. She understands that, that's what she's done to survive so far. She sings songs and dances. I don't know if she dances, but at the very least, she sings songs. People give her money. People give her food. And that's how she survives. I also believe that she was a prostitute, and that's alluded to multiple times in the book. I think there's a reference to it in the Hanging Tree song we can get to. But what is being a prostitute, being a sex worker? You're a performer. You are there for someone to, release their, sexual desires. You don't have to love them. You don't have to like them. You're just there to be a sex object. Perform as a sex. You're there to perform as a sex object for someone else's gratification, and in return, they give you money or food or whatever the fuck the agreement was. She is a performer. And I think deep down, she really is a scared motherfucker. A scared 16-year-old broke orphan trying to survive any way she can. And the performing is just the way that's worked for her so far all this time. Then when we get to the scene in the forest, it's when I think the performance stops, like it fully stops. The show stops. Because like she says, the show isn't over until the Mockingjay sings. The Mockingjay sing, the show stops. She's no longer performing. She is fucking running. She is running away. She doesn't want this smoke. She doesn't want to kill Koryo because she doesn't have it in her to do it. She is not a fucking killer. In the Hunger Games, what did she do? How did she kill? She only killed like 2 or 3 people. She poisoned the water that Wolvie, or I don't know if that was Wolvie or what the other little girl, that one of the little girls drank, and they died from that. Then she threw a snake on the motherfucker who had grabbed her up and was about to kill her. Again, that's not a direct kill. She threw a snake and the snake killed the dude. And then the third kill, Reaper either she poisoned his water or he had what's it called? What's that shit called? Either he had rabies or she poisoned his water. So all of her kills were indirect kills because she's not about that life. And what did she spend most of the Hunger Games doing? Hiding. You didn't even see her most of the time because she was hiding in the catacombs, in the tunnels with Jessup until he lost his fucking shit and tried to kill her. And even then, she still couldn't bring herself to kill him in self-defense or even try. She just stood there until his mentor kept hitting him with water bottles to scare him until he fell off the goddamn cliff, off the stands or whatever, and basically died that way. But she's not a killer. She's a performer. And then once we get to that, I think the relationship between Koryo and Lucy isn't just him manipulating her and trying to control her. It's both. It's both of them doing that to survive. Both of them are 2 broke-ass orphans. The only difference is that one is from the capital and believes in the capital, and one is a nomad and believes in being a nomad and being free. Lucy doesn't even want to claim District 12 when she goes to the Hunger Games. She goes to the capital, and they're asking her about where she's from and all that. She doesn't even want to claim the District 12. She doesn't give a fuck about the district. She doesn't give a fuck about the revolution. She just wants to be free of all of it. The revolution, the districts, all of them. Corio, obviously, he's also a broke-ass orphan. The difference between them is, obviously, he wants to reclaim his family's fortune and he wants to stay in the capital. He wants to thrive in their control and their environment. He wants to stay in it, but not as a victim. He wants to be a victor in their society. She just like, fuck that. I just want to get away from everything. I want to just be done with all of it. 12, society. I want to go live in the woods as a fucking nomad and just fish and live in my cabin for the rest of my life. No money, no having to worry about money or people or nothing. Like we see when when Arachne gets killed before the games, and then again when Mayfair and Billy Top get killed, both times she starts shaking. And even after the games, even after she's experienced the games, she's still shaking seeing someone get killed because she is not built for that shit. It's all, and I think those moments are when and like she said this to Corio. She says, at night, during the day I can keep up the performance, but at night it gets harder, and I get a little. I really am scared of this shit. She tells him this. But I think her whole thing, I'm gonna go. That's why she wanted him in the forest with her, because she felt like she would have a better chance if he was there. But because he could, two people might be better than one when it comes to fishing, hunting, doing all that. And she just didn't want to be alone. She's always with some other people. She's always with the cubby. Or, when he gets there, in the capital, she with him in a way. And when she's not with him, she attaches herself to Jessup. She's always attaching herself to people because she can't be alone. Because her whole thing is, she's a performer. She can't perform for herself. In order for people to help you out, help you provide, help you eat, help you get money, while you perform, you have to need people there to perform for. So, which leads me to, when we go back to the forest, both of them have officially given up on each other because she decides she can't trust him. She truly just cannot trust this nigga no more, if she ever truly did. Like I said, I don't think they ever truly loved each other. I think they wanted to. They really wanted to. But deep down, they both knew we're too fucking different. We want the exact opposite thing. We both want our lives to be better, but we want them to be. But our idea of what better is two different things. And when that comes to a head in that forest, and she leaves him, she's trying to drive him away. She's not trying to kill him because she's not about that life. I think once he leaves, like she hits him with the non-venomous snake, she sings the song, then gets the birds to start singing it, and then that drives, because she knows he hates those birds, and that drives him away, finally. I don't think he's hallucinating that. I don't think he's hallucinating seeing her footsteps. I think she really did leave his ass and was just waiting on him to just give up and just leave. Because she, as far as I can remember, in the movie, she knows about him getting the officer promotion. But in the book, she doesn't know about that. In the book, the only thing she would And I'm not saying she's dumb, so she clearly could have been smart enough to figure out, wait, now that he has the guns, I'm his only, whatchamacallit, I'm the only thing that's standing in his way. But, I think it really was the Janice thing. I think she figured out that it was him who turned into Janice. I don't think she realized that, he could turn in the guns. He could destroy the guns and kill her and then be done and then go back home. Because she didn't even know about the promotion in the book. So I think in the book it really is just, she just figures out what he did to Janice. And at that point she just can't trust him anymore at all. And she's worried that, one wrong move and he's gonna kill her. One disagreement, like if he really misses home too much, he could kill her and just leave or abandon her. Even if he doesn't kill her, he could still just abandon her anyway. And so she just leaves him. Then tries to drive him off with the snake and with the birds. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. But she tries to drive her off. She drives him off that way instead of killing him. Because she was standing over him with the knife. So she could have just slit his throat or stabbed him if she wanted to. Because he was kneeling on the ground. This isn't how it happens in the movie. But in the book, he's kneeling on the ground, over with the guns, and they're still in the bag. I don't think he had taken the one he used out the bag yet. And she pulls the knife, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go outside." But in that second, if she really wanted him gone, she could have just stabbed him right there. And he did, because he had no suspicions of her, anything like that. That she was plotting anything, so he could have just stabbed her. They did make a point to say that when he goes outside, there is no, though the area around where she would have had to go to get the Katniss root isn't disturbed in any way. So he already knows she didn't go over there. She didn't. That was a lie. She didn't go over there to do that. So I think that just based off that, and then like the footsteps leading to the scarf and the snake on this, I think that was on purpose. That's that she used the snake. She's already attacked people with snakes twice in the book, so why wouldn't this time be on purpose? That doesn't really make sense. And it was non-venomous, so I think that's also on purpose because she didn't want to kill him. Then, he thinks he sees her. Well, no, he hears her. He sends some shots. He sends a spray of bullets. He didn't shoot one bullet over there. He sent a spray of bullets where he heard her. And then the bird squawked. And it's like on page 4, like 502, it's like 488. Or is it 502? It's like 5. Yeah. So it's like a 502. He sends a spray of bullets. The birds squawked and they flew off. And he heard a faint cry. So that the faint cry distinguishes it from the bird sounds. So he didn't hit a bird. So the faint cry had to be her. Because as far as we know, there was no other person there. And then I don't think he hit her. I think he almost hit her, and it was so close because he sent a spray of bullets. So if you're just standing there trying to hide, and the motherfucker just sends multiple bullets at you, like a spray. I don't know how many a spray is. I'm assuming it's at least like 5. At least 5 to 10, because it wasn't like a machine gun or it was an automatic. So however many, there had to be at least like 7 bullets. So he sends like at least 7 bullets over there. None of them hit her. They all like hit the ground or something like that. I'm assuming they all hit the ground because if they hit a tree, I think that would have made a noise and it would have said that. So I say they all hit the ground. but it's so close that she's like, oh shit. So I think that's what it was. I don't think he hit her at all. If he did hit her, it would have been like a flesh wound. Like it might have grazed her arm, grazed her leg or something. Probably her arm, because the leg would have made it harder to move faster. Especially her, because she's not, like I said, she's not about that life. So I think maybe grazed, that's not the reason why she cries out, because she's not about that life. So even if it didn't hit her, she would still cry out if it came close. So I think either it grazed her arm or it didn't hit her at all. And then she gets the fuck on, because she knows the area better than he does. So that makes it easier for her to maneuver around. So she gets the fuck on. She's not there. Then she starts singing. And another point, when she starts singing, her voice lifts suddenly and sweetly. I think if she was really hurt, if he had really hit her in a deadly place, her voice wouldn't be sweet. I don't think it would lift. I think there would have been like, you would say there was like pain in her voice. She probably still would be able to sing, but it wouldn't be like a normal. Her voice lifted suddenly and sweetly. I think there would be more to it if she was hurt and you can hear it in her voice. So she sings a song. Wear a necklace of rope side by side with me, and I think that's like, look, it's saying like this, we're dead to each other. We're dead. Either we're dead to each other metaphorically, or like, look, bro, like, don't make me kill you, because she will kill if she has to, but she'd rather not, and she damn sure doesn't want to do it directly. But she's like, don't make me like indirectly kill you, because I am. She does have the knife, and if she is maneuvering around so good without him realizing it, I'm assuming she could maneuver around behind his back and come in and get him that way, even though he has the gun. So she's saying, let's not die together out here in this forest this way. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck on. So but there's more to the song, I think. So one possibility is that she lives out the rest of her days either there in the cabin and the Covey just keeps her secret, because they would go there and look for her, obviously, so they keep her secret. Or she goes farther into the woods. Maybe there's another cabin we don't know about, we hadn't heard about, and she lives there. Or she just stays in the woods until she dies. But I don't think she made it to 11 or 13, because that wouldn't make sense. Because 13 is even more strict than the capital in some ways, and 11 is still the capital. So, and I'm assuming that even 13 is on surveillance. So, the ground above 13, the ground level of 13 is probably still under surveillance, even though people are underground. So if she just stumbled into 13 above ground, they would see her. 11, someone would probably recognize her. At the very least, a peacekeeper would probably recognize her or something. A higher up somebody. I don't think she could just go to 11 unrecognized. So I don't think her staying around anywhere makes sense. I think she stays in that fucking forest and either lives out the rest of her days until she, dies of natural causes, and she just lives in the forest and, fishes and forages for her food for the rest of her life. Because she did kind of say she wanted to do that. So it's not like out of the question. We do see her fish and show that she knows how to fish. So it could be like that. Or if she continues north and there's like another cabin, or she gets the people, it's a possibility. The other possibility is that she dies, that she committed suicide. As we said, the song, the Hanging Tree song, it's about committing suicide. So if she wrote a song about committing suicide, maybe she committed suicide. Either with the knife, she slit her wrist, slit her throat, or there was a rope somewhere in the cabin that we didn't see or hear about, and she hanged herself with the rope off of one of the trees. Or she, swam out farther than she should have in the river and drown herself on purpose. There are obviously ways she could have done it. But maybe a person who writes a song about committing suicide committed suicide. And there's like a lot of suicide references throughout the book. I don't want to say a lot, but there's Corio thinks about it, so Janice thinks about it. So the possibility is there, and obviously she wanted freedom. Death is the ultimate freedom. And that's what the song was kind of about. He's like, it's inviting someone to go commit suicide with you so that you can have freedom, because you're not going to have it in life. So there's that possibility. I think those are the only two possibilities. I think she either committed suicide or she just lived out the rest of her days in the forest, either north or right there at the cabin, and that was it. I think those are the only two logical possibilities. I don't think it's logical that she went to 11 or 13, because she didn't want to be under the Capitol's rule, and so she went to 11. She's still under the Capitol's rule. If she went to 13, they're even stricter, and also she didn't know that 13 was still around. So, and why would they reveal themselves to her if she even stumbled up there? And would she even go there? Because weren't they all told it was a radioactive site? So would she stay clear of there if it was still radioactive? Possibly. So I don't think 13 or 11. I think she stayed in the woods. Either the woods up north or the woods right there in 12, and either lived out the rest of her days in the woods or committed suicide. And living out the rest of your days doesn't mean you lived all the way to like 80 years old. She could have, if she was 16, she could have died in her 20s. She could have died in her 20s in the woods. She lived in the woods for a few years, then got sick and died, or committed suicide. But I don't think it matters either, because there was this one line I found on page, I want to say 483. Yeah, 483. Where she says, I want to run away north. I've been setting some supplies by out there. I might survive. What the fuck is out there? If out there is the cabin, they didn't really mention that many supplies. Like, they didn't mention that there was some stack of supplies in that cabin when they got in there. So, like I said, is there another cabin? Is there... Where does she put those supplies at? Or was that a lie? But either she lived off those supplies, and she says, I might survive. Which I think maybe is something to the reader. They telling the reader maybe she survived, maybe she didn't. So I think she lives out her days in the woods, off those supplies, until she runs out, and then she either commits suicide or she keeps living out there some other way. And then she, I don't think she went to 13 or 11. That's the main thing. I don't believe she went to 13 or 11. Because 11 is still the capital. 13, she didn't even know about 13. And no one knew 13 was even still around, because they were underground. And they're more strict in some ways than the capital is. So, yeah, she definitely stayed in the woods. Dead or alive, she's in those fucking woods. And possibly committed suicide. And I think those are the only two logical possibilities. And I don't think it really matters anyway, because that's not the point of her character. The point of her character is how her legacy carries over to the next series through her songs and the imprint she leaves on Snow, and how she made him into a colder person. How his experience with her turned him into a colder person. And he already was. He already was somewhat cold. He already had the gears turning somewhat. And then once things went left with her, he said, fuck this shit. I'm killing everybody. So let me know. What you want? Another... I think I'll make that a separate video. Spitballing about what another book would be like. Whether it's a sequel to this, or, another prequel, or if it was a sequel to The Mockingjay, takes place after the original trilogy. Personally, I would rather have a sequel to this than a sequel to the originals, because I just don't think you need to go there. You know, you already ended it, let it be ended. But we can talk about that more. Whereas with this, there's still, you know, another 63. Well, there's like still like another 63, 64 years, 63 and a half years to go until we get to the Katniss's time frame. So there's still time to cover. I don't think we need a book for all those years, obviously. Probably just one more. Maybe two if she could figure something out, but probably just one more. But we can talk about that. And no, I do not think that if she writes another book, she should tell what happened to Lucy Gray. I think that should stay sealed. We don't need to know. But obviously I have my own opinion, my own theory. Let me know what you think happened to her. Did I convince you that she did not go to 11 or 13, and why? Did I convince you that she's probably dead? But I'll see you in the next video.